When people think about animals in the First World War, horses usually come to mind first. Millions of them carried supplies, pulled artillery, and transported soldiers across the battlefields of Europe. Yet, among the mud, shellfire, and chaos of the Western Front, another animal quietly earned a remarkable reputation for courage and service. This was the Briard, a large French herding dog whose intelligence, loyalty, and determination made it one of the most valued canine participants of the war. Long before the outbreak of World War I in 1914, the Briard had already spent centuries working alongside French shepherds. Known in France as the Berger de Brie, the breed originated as a livestock guardian and herding dog. Its thick coat protected it from harsh weather, while its sharp mind allowed it to control large flocks with minimal direction. Farmers depended on Briards to make decisions independently, a trait that would later prove invaluable in military service. The Briard's appearance made it instantly recognizable. Standing between 22 and 27 inches tall at the shoulder, the breed possessed a powerful frame hidden beneath a long, wavy coat. Its distinctive eyebrows gave the dog an almost thoughtful expression. Beneath that shaggy exterior was an athletic and highly trainable animal capable of working for long hours in difficult conditions. As Europe descended into war, military leaders quickly realized that dogs could perform tasks that machines and humans often struggled to accomplish. Communication systems were unreliable, telephone lines were frequently destroyed by artillery, and soldiers became separated across vast stretches of trenches and shell holes. Armies needed dependable messengers, scouts, guards, and rescue animals. France already had experience using dogs in military roles, and the Briard soon emerged as one of the most effective breeds available. The French army initially viewed dogs primarily as messengers. During combat, carrying written messages between units could be extraordinarily dangerous. A soldier attempting to cross open ground often became an easy target for enemy fire. Dogs presented a different solution. Smaller, faster, and lower to the ground, they could navigate battlefields with a much greater chance of survival. Briards excelled in this role because of their intelligence and ability to memorize routes. Military trainers taught them to travel repeatedly between specific locations, sometimes covering several miles under hazardous conditions. Once released, the dogs would move through trenches, around obstacles, and across terrain shattered by artillery bombardment. Important information regarding troop positions, supply needs, or enemy activity often reached commanders thanks to these canine couriers. Messenger work required more than speed. Dogs needed the confidence to move through deafening explosions and constant gunfire. The Briard's working heritage had already developed a temperament capable of handling stressful situations. Shepherd dogs regularly made independent decisions while protecting livestock from threats, and that composure translated surprisingly well to the battlefield environment. Another vital responsibility involved locating wounded soldiers. The Western Front stretched for hundreds of miles, and battles frequently left injured men stranded between opposing trench systems. This area, known as No Man's Land, was among the most dangerous places on Earth. Cratered by artillery, covered with barbed wire, and exposed to enemy fire, it became nearly impossible for medical personnel to search every section after a battle. Specially trained Briards were sent into these devastated landscapes to find wounded troops. Their exceptional sense of smell allowed them to detect injured men who might otherwise remain undiscovered for hours or even days. Some dogs carried medical supplies, while others returned to handlers and guided rescue teams back to the casualty's location. These search and rescue missions often occurred at night. Darkness reduced visibility, but also lowered the risk of enemy snipers spotting movement. Briards learned to navigate terrain transformed beyond recognition by shellfire. Trenches collapsed, landmarks disappeared, and familiar routes vanished beneath mud and debris. Human rescuers frequently became disoriented in such conditions, yet trained dogs could continue searching with remarkable effectiveness. Accounts from the war describe dogs discovering unconscious soldiers buried beneath rubble or lying helplessly in shell craters. Every successful rescue represented a life that might otherwise have been lost. Although records rarely captured every individual story, military reports repeatedly praised the contribution of rescue dogs operating near the front lines. The Briard's usefulness extended beyond communication and rescue work. Many served as sentries, guarding military installations and supply depots. Their keen hearing often alerted soldiers to approaching intruders long before human guards noticed anything unusual. In an era when surprise attacks and infiltration raids were common, an attentive dog provided an additional layer of security. Military hospitals also benefited from canine assistance. Dogs transported small supplies, delivered messages between sections of large facilities, and offered companionship to wounded soldiers. Modern research has demonstrated the positive psychological effects animals can have on people experiencing trauma, but soldiers during World War I recognized this instinctively. A friendly dog could provide a welcome reminder of home amid the harsh realities of war. As the conflict intensified, France expanded its military dog programs significantly. Thousands of dogs of various breeds entered service. While German Shepherds, Airedale Terriers, and Belgian Shepherds all contributed, the Briard became particularly associated with French military efforts. Its reputation grew steadily as reports highlighted the breed's effectiveness under combat conditions. The war had a profound effect on the Briard population itself. Before 1914, the breed remained relatively uncommon even within France. Large numbers of dogs were recruited for military duties, and many never returned. Others were lost during battles or succumbed to disease and hardship. By the time the war ended in 1918, the Briard population had declined dramatically. Several breed enthusiasts recognized the danger facing the Briard's future. Breeders and supporters worked diligently to rebuild numbers after the war, preserving bloodlines that might otherwise have disappeared entirely. Their efforts proved successful, although recovery took years. The breed survived not only as a farm dog, but also as a living symbol of service during one of history's most destructive conflicts. One notable supporter of the Briard was Thomas Jefferson, who had imported Briards to the United States long before World War I. While his involvement belonged to an earlier period, the breed's presence in America helped establish international awareness that later contributed to preservation efforts. Following the war, interest in the Briard increased as stories of its military service spread beyond France. The legacy of wartime Briards can still be seen today. Modern Briards continue to work as herding dogs, search and rescue animals, service dogs, and family companions. Many of the characteristics admired by military trainers over a century ago remain central to the breed's identity. Intelligence, loyalty, confidence, and adaptability continue to define the Briard. Their wartime achievements also helped shape military dog programs in the decades that followed. The success of messenger and rescue dogs during World War I demonstrated the practical value of trained canines in combat operations. Future conflicts would see expanded use of military working dogs, with lessons learned from Briards and other breeds influencing training methods and deployment strategies. Remembering the Briards of World War I provides a broader understanding of how many different forms of service contributed to the war effort. Victory and survival depended not only on generals, soldiers, and technology, but also on animals performing tasks that humans could not easily accomplish. These dogs carried messages through gunfire, searched for the wounded in devastated landscapes, guarded important positions, and offered comfort during moments of immense hardship. Their contribution rarely occupied newspaper headlines, and many individual acts of bravery went unrecorded. Yet the impact of their work was measured in lives saved, communications delivered, and missions completed. The Briard entered the war as a shepherd's helper and emerged as one of France's most respected military dogs. More than a century later, the story of these remarkable animals remains a testament to the unique partnership between humans and dogs. Amid the destruction of World War I, Briards demonstrated qualities that transcended the battlefield. Loyalty without hesitation, courage without recognition, and service without expectation of reward. Their legacy endures not only in the history of the breed, but also in the wider story of the countless animals that stood alongside humanity during one of its darkest chapters.